Hi, Cassie.
Hey! Good, how are you?
Great. I'm so excited because I look up to, I think this is something I say almost on every single one of these videos, but I look up to like whoever I have in that chair so much. And especially like what we're talking about today, your circle of friends is like so solid, so good. And I just thought you were like the perfect person to talk to in terms of discernment of friendship, because I know you put like a lot on the altar.
Yeah.
You're praying about whoever's around you and everything. I know you do that. So like, who better to talk to about it than Cassie herself?
That's so funny.
Because I know she's like, who walks with wise men will be wise. Like that's her, and I just love it so much. And it's something I'm learning every day, because I know I'm sort of like a people pleaser. And it's so hard for me to be like, oh no, maybe we can't be friends, or just like this is myself because I just want everyone to be happy. But to just have that like that confidence, like, hey, for the better of everyone, let's just like cut this off, or let's just go this direction. But I would like you to like sort of like tell me, like, how do you go about doing that? Like, what makes you say, hey, God, is this person?
Okay. Well, hey everyone, I'm glad to be here. So how do I go about like the discernment aspect?
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, first and foremost, I would love to say I'm happy to be here, and thank you for having me.
Of course.
And when it comes to your friends, it's so important, and I feel like a lot of people don't take it with the kind of importance that they should. Yeah. I feel like they're just like, well, I like hanging out with them, like they're fun, they make me laugh. But I have found that a friend is someone that loves you aside from your mistakes, aside from your faults, because there's people, and you know, again, finding your friends is so important, and it's not the will of God that we live in loneliness, that we just live as islands by ourselves or live isolated. Like, it's his will that we have good godly friendships that strengthen us, that build us up. And so when I first came to CLC, that was something I really needed, because I had always kind of struggled with like friendships and like, you know, people. I'm very sensitive. I'm a very, very sensitive person. And I can kind of tend towards that people pleasing nature as well. Like, it's just easy to like, oh, I want to make you happy. Like, it's pretty easy to like, you know, put what they want above like what you want and stuff. And so I came to CLC and I really, really needed friends. I had, again, just struggled. I had always felt like dealt with feeling left out in my friend groups, and you know, just having friends that didn't really treat me the way that I would have wanted to be treated, you know? And so coming here, I was like, okay, God, like, I don't even know if I actually prayed for friends. I think God just blessed me with them. But,
so good.
But I would say pray for friends. Like, that is very, very important. You want to pray for good, godly friends, especially if you're finding yourself without having many of them right now, for anyone that's watching. But the discernment aspect is very important. I can be very easily influenced, and I think that's kind of just human nature. Yeah. Like, oh, I think they're cool. Like, I want to be like them, you know? What they say and do, like, it obviously influences us, especially the people that we're around. Their attitude, their character is going to seep into us and affect us. And so that was the first thing that I knew. God, like, I need to find people that are worthy of being around, because your time and your friendship is valuable. Like that, I think that's the first key to understanding that, is like understanding that within yourself, like, I'm a valuable person, and not like all puffed up in pride of like, oh, you know, you're so happy. Yeah, like, you're lucky to be my friend. Like, not like that, but just like, we all have wonderful giftings and things inside of us that God has put in us that are lights to other people, that are gifts to other people, that bless other people. And so recognizing that, like, I'm a godly person. I want godly friends. My time is important. Their time is important. God, show me who is worthy of that, and let me be worthy of their time as well, you know? And so the first thing that I looked for with finding good godly friends is, are they gossipers? Because, you know, if you want to be a good godly like individual, especially a woman, because it's so easy for us to just like shoot off at the mouth and be like, you know, and be catty, very catty, and very like have the claws out, you know, and just very easy to not even always talk bad about people, to just do things that we know can hurt people, you know? And so finding people that don't gossip was a huge thing for me, because if I am like, God, I don't want to gossip, like I'm not a gossiper, and then I hang out with people and they're like, did you hear what so and so said about so and so, and oh my goodness, I found out that this and that and this and that. Well, you're going to be a part of the conversation, and it's not a very fruitful friendship if you're always having to be like, no, stop, I don't want to hear that, I don't want to hear that, I don't want to hear that. Like if you're constantly having to like, you know, like prune and cut off things and like fix things, like it's maybe not the friendship for you. If you're constantly feeling like you have to like, you know, say something or adjust or, you know, oh, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that, or can you do this and can you do that? Maybe not, you know, obviously no one's perfect and friendships aren't going to be perfect, and you learn and grow with each other. But if there's always like an issue or something that you're seeing that's like, oh, maybe not, you know? But yeah, make sure that they're not gossipers. Make sure that you're not a gossip yourself as well, you know? And just truly loving people, you know? Psalms 15 talks about the character of people that can dwell with the Lord. And it says, they don't backbite with their tongue, and they don't take up reproaches against their friends. Like, if we want to be godly, we don't speak evil about people when they're not around. We don't take up reproaches against people and just like find reasons to be upset and things like that. And so that's kind of a big thing for me. That was the first thing I looked for when I came to CLC, for looking for good godly friends, was, do they gossip? And making sure to set that standard of like, okay, we're not going to like talk about people. Like, you want to be around people that you can have a good time and you don't have to be talking about someone else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like, am I not fun enough that we just have to talk about someone else the whole time? You know what I mean? Like,
that happened, like, where I'm like, oh, like I would sit down and I would realize that every single time I'm talking to like this specific person, we're only always talking about somebody else. And I'm like, like, I just think like, the grass is green. The weather's nice. Food, anything else. And I'm like, okay, so we can't be close friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And I got that. And I know that in terms of what you were saying about sort of, if you don't want to gossip, you can have people who gossip. I know I was talking to Pastor Ellis earlier today, and I was like, I struggle with this specific thing. And I have a friend who sort of like not embodies this specific thing, but they draw it out of me. And I was like, they're a really good friend though. Like everything else but that. And he was like, just talk to them first. And I did, and it was gone. Like they're like, okay, I didn't know that. And thank you for telling me. And like I'll help keep you accountable and we can help each other. And I was like, that's solid. Because I know I had a big problem like before coming here. I have majority like outside, like on church friends. And it was a big, my parents were like, Catherine, you need some more people in the church. And I'm like, yeah, but people in the church, a lot of them are very judgmental and I don't know who to like talk to. Like I'm really, my friend is someone I'm trusting my business with, because I'm going to be talking to you. I'm going to be crying to you about something. And I need to be able to trust you and know that you're not going to go back and talk to somebody else about it.
Exactly.
And when I came here, I was like, okay, this is the perfect place. Like everyone here is a Christian.
Please God. We try to be.
So I'm like, it really shouldn't be that hard to find people. So I've been like, I haven't been like praying about it, but I have like a really good meter when it comes to people who to trust. And sort of like knowing that, hey, okay, this personality trait maybe not a good one.
Exactly.
Or they don't really go to services that much, or they don't really go to class that much.
Their fruit is going to tell you.
And I'm like, okay, if I want to do good at school, if I want to be good in my spiritual life, I have to have friends who I sort of like need to keep on this level.
Right.
And they challenge me every single day. I remember I told my mom, I was like, coming to CLC would make me better spiritually, because if you are not a Christian, you stand out more. And you're like, they're like, So I'm like, the chapels, when I went to like, the first student body prayer, I was like, Mom, these people are praying.
It lasts
like,
so long.
Praying like hours. She's like, yeah.
I felt the same way.
I was like, my 30-minute prayers are cutting it in.
I felt the same way. I was like, how are they still going?
Exactly.
I'm like, 2 hours.
I'm like, I've run out of things to say.
I'm
like, am I talking about it? I'm like, Jesus, you're so good. You're so good.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
Here's a worthy God. But I'm like, I know, like, I need friends to like to really just like challenge me and make me a better person.
Exactly.
Because I need to be growing spiritually. I can't just be stagnant because there's no fruit being like made at that point. But I want to like ask you, like, I know aside from gossiping, like what other like red flags are there in friends for you?
Okay. So, okay, let me preface this by saying, once again, people are people. So we're all going to have our faults. We're all going to have like our sort of character flaws that we're working on. But there's a difference between, oh, I recognize this in myself, I'm working on it, and I'm trying to be better, and I want the help to be better, as opposed to like, oh, this is just who I am. Like, it's kind of like an attitude of rebellion. And so there's a difference. And so looking for people that are living that repentant lifestyle, because as flawed human beings, as flawed Christians, we're always going to be needing the grace of God, the mercy of God. And so as people, like, we should extend that to our friends as well. Like, I recognize, like, okay, I'm not expecting you to be perfect. Like, if you slip up here and there or whatever, like, if you're not perfect, like, that's not where you're supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, we're human beings. So I want to preface it by saying that, like, people are people, and we all deserve grace. We all deserve mercy. But the people you allow into your inner circle, your, you know, Jesus had his 12, and then he had his inner 3, Peter, James, and John, right? Yeah, Peter, James, and John. And then everybody else was everybody else, and he loved everybody else. You know, he ministered to everybody else, but he had his 12, and then he had his 3. And people you're going to bring into your inner 3 are people that, you know, you're able to look past their faults, their flaws, and see the value in them. Because I remember coming in, like, I would hang out with people and I was like, not a good fit. Not a good fit. Like, you know, we all say things that we shouldn't at times. We all do things we shouldn't at times. But it's like, you can just feel when it's like, yeah, like, I don't think I can look past this, honestly, and like, really grow a friendship with this person. Like, this isn't something I want to consistently be around. And there's other people you meet, like, and it's like, wow, like, you're not perfect. Obviously not. Like, we all have our struggles, but like, I just see so much like value in you, and like, I want to grow something in you. Like, I want to continue to like go on this journey with you and uplift you and stuff. And so with that being said, red flags. Okay. So aside from gossip, I would say, like you said, kind of like you kind of alluded to, like, people that just aren't fruitful. Like, you need to find people that are strong in areas that you're weak, especially if you're seeking to, like, I need people to help me with this, you know, because not everything's going to come just through prayer alone, just through the word alone. Like, God gave us people for a reason to uplift one another. You know, Galatians chapter 6 talks about bearing one another's burdens and fulfilling the law of Christ. And in verse 2, or what verse is it? In the first verse, it talks about, like, if anyone's overtaken in like a sin, then people that are spiritual restore them in a spirit of gentleness, like considering ourselves, like, if we were tempted as well. And so that goes for friendship, that goes for ministry, that goes for a lot of things. But I'm talking about in terms of friendship, we want to build up people and restore them, especially when they fall, because they're not perfect. But red flags, I would say people that just are not very fruitful, like you said, like, you're never going to class, you're never getting up, you know, you're never showing up to prayer. I mean, again, no one's perfect, but if you're seeking to build a deeper prayer life and your friends, you know that they don't pray, probably find different friends, you know. If you're seeking to really like get a strong, like, you know, foundation in the Word of God, and you know that they don't really care to read the Word of God, they want to scroll on Reels all day, maybe find better friends, you know. So I think things like that. Overly self-absorbed people as well is a really, really tough thing. Now, I will say, I learned this in a class with Brother Abrego once, and it like really spoke volumes to me, because we can have grace for people that tend to be a little bit self-centered, but not selfish and not self-absorbed. Because when you go through a lot of hurt, it's a natural reaction to like kind of try to protect yourself just a little bit, you know. And until like you're fully healed, you're going to be kind of like protecting yourself, and you're going to be a little bit more focused on yourself, because it's like, well, I need to make sure I'm good, because I don't want to keep getting hurt. And so until people are like fully healed and made whole, that's going to be a natural reaction. So we have grace on people that can be a little bit self-centered, and obviously we're human beings. Again, we're going to be self-centered at times, like, oh, I want to make sure I have my food, I want to make sure like I'm good. But people that are like overly self-centered, overly self-absorbed, they're not going to be good friends, because it's going to be, oh, like I'm trying to come to you with, this thing I'm struggling with and I'm going through this. And then it's like, okay, cool. Anyways, and then they'll cut you off and interject with their own thing,
Yeah.
And so, people that can lay aside their own things, not forever, but temporarily, and help you as well. You want good, godly friends that are willing to do that. The people that are overly prideful, because that's not going to make a good friend. Let's say they do something that hurts you and you want to go to them and they're like, what are you talking about? Why are you? Yeah. No, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, people that aren't very understanding, people that are just kind of puffed up and like always trying to like one up you, things like that, like a competitive spirit, people that are like that, like you don't want to surround yourself with those kind of people, because you'll never, like, you don't want to fight and compete with anybody, because neither one of you are ever going to match up to each other, because you're not meant to fight with each other. You're supposed to be yourselves and thankful for who God made you to be. And then another thing, carnality, obviously I kind of alluded to that. People that are just like, I'm just going to lay in bed for 6 hours and scroll on my phone, No, I don't want to go to somebody prayer. I'm just going to watch Netflix for a few hours. Like, maybe not. We're in Bible college. Like, let's be here if we're going to be here. Yeah. Sorry, for God. That's a little nugget of other wisdom, because I feel very strongly about that. Like, guys, if we're gonna be here, let's be here. Yeah, might as well. Anyways, right. Might as well show up. Bad attitudes are so ridiculously contagious. It's so easy. If you're around someone that's like, they just always have like something to say, like a bad attitude, critical spirit, things like that. It's like, can we just be happy and like joyful? Maybe
always just victim mentality.
Oh, girl. Oh, that's another one. Oh, she hit the nail on the head, guys. Yes. Like, it's always like, where was me? Like, no one can ever say anything without them being like, oh my gosh, why would you say that? It's just like people that just have that kind of like very negative attitude, bad attitude, always have something to say. Maybe not, especially if that's something that like you tend to struggle with. Cause like I'm a very like emotional person. I can be very up and down. And sometimes I do get like frustrated, or I'm like irritated. Or I'm just like, I just need a minute, like I'm just like frustrated right now. Like, I don't want to be around people that are always frustrated and will feed that. I want people that are going to like, oh, well, that's okay. And like, they give you the positive aspect. They give you the positive side and help you to be joyful. And okay, well, we're going to take that to the Lord. Okay, well, we're going to pray about that right now. Yeah. God has blessed me with such a good friend this year. Her name is Cecilia. Cecilia, girl, I love her so much. And we're both very emotional people, but we always know how to like lay aside our own things and be able to hear each other out. And whenever we're like going through something that's like just really tough, it's like, okay, well, here's like the good aspect of it. Like, God's growing this in you. He's helping you. He's changing you, molding you. And like, it's like it's okay. Like, you can have joy. Like, you can have joy in this, we take it to God. We pray for each other. We pray together. Like, that's the kind of friend that you want. Someone that's going to be there to uplift you. So I'd say those are red flags though. Like carnality, gossip, bad attitudes, victim mindset, negativity, selfishness, pride, things like that.
So before we like end off, like how do you, because I know we listed all these things that you should look out for and try to avoid, but how do you like sort of cut them off?
Ooh, okay.
In a nice way.
Yeah.
In a coffee way.
Yeah, right. Man, okay. So I would say, oh man, that's tough. Yeah. Okay, so in my experience, I remember in the beginning of my freshman year when I first got here, I was like definitely just testing the waters with different people. I didn't get super close to anyone until like I knew like, okay, like this is cool. Like this is good. This is from God. Yeah. But until then, I made sure to just very much like test the waters. Like, we're not hanging out all the time. I just want to like, see how it is. Yeah. And so with those people, like, just love them from a distance. Like, okay, very short and sweet. Like, I appreciated the time that we got to spend together, but I'm not going to be texting and calling and, oh, come to the student center and eat with me and things like that. Like, again, remember, your time is valuable. Your time is very valuable, and you don't owe it to anybody. You really don't. And if you're talking about like cutting off someone like your best friend or something like that, and you're just like, oh, like it's just not it's not of God and like I don't want this in my life, I would say just have an honest conversation with them, because if it's at that point where you're like so close to them, then I feel like, not that like you necessarily owe them something, but it's kind of the right thing to do. It's kind of polite to do that, because if you just start acting all like switch up in a day, it's going to create this like tension, this like drama, and it's just going to be very obnoxious, very like, we can avoid that by just having a conversation. And so and like you had mentioned before, like if there's something you see in someone that you're not liking, you can go to them and be like, hey, like, you know, whatever. And if you guys work it out, great. And if you don't, maybe try it a few more times. And then if it's just like, it's just not going to work, well, then just let them know, like, hey, well, this is the reason. I'm not just being a jerk and like, oh, like, no, I don't want you in my life. Like, there's a reason. Yeah. And I've come to you about it and it hasn't changed. And I just want you to know, like, I love you, but I can't allow this relationship to be so close to me, because I need my walk with God to be strong and solid. Yeah. And I can't like allow anything that's going to distract me, that's going to take me off the course that I need to be on. I need people in my life that are going to build me up and help me stay on the right path, because it's really easy to stray, and I can't have people that are helping me stray off, you know? And so, you know, obviously everybody tailor that to their own, you know, words and everything like that. But I feel like that's kind of the right thing to do. Just talk to them about it, especially if you are really close. And then from there on out, just, you know, love them from a distance, be short and sweet. Like, I think that's the key to anything. If there's anybody in your life that that you were once close to and you're not close to them anymore, just be short and sweet. Yeah. Like, show them the love of God, show them, you know, kindness and everything like that. But just keep it short and sweet. Like, oh, hey, you know, quick, how's it going? Good. How's your mom? Great. Okay, well, I'll see you later. Bye. You know, just short and sweet. And be genuine. Be genuine. Be genuine. Don't, you know, be fake and like, hey, girl, so good to see you. And then turn on to your friends and be like, oh, can't believe we saw her right now. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, let's all be genuine. Let's all be godly. But yeah, I feel like that's
good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Peace God.
I really am so grateful that you took the time to be here, and I love you so much.
I love you too.
Great. Cut.